Hey everyone, I wanted to bring up the topic of transcendent politics. Transcendental politics. It might not be a term that you have heard before, and it could be because I originated it. So, transcendent means to pretty much rise above anything, and the way that I define transcendent politics is to, hey Jacob, is to not have any allegiance to any political party or any viewpoint. It's a radical embrace because if you are not in allegiance to a viewpoint or a political party, there's room to actually have real discussion on issues. If you've already predetermined that you're going to be in allegiance to a political view or party, then basically you've already acknowledged that you are in a submissive beta role to that party and their agendas. And being in a submissive beta role to a political party or agenda is a very dangerous thing. Basically, it means you've exchanged your personal freedom of thought and feeling and speech and action for someone else's speech and thoughts. And if you love that, well, by all means, do it. But it's dangerous to society. Hey, Julian, it's dangerous to society to simply become a parrot or robot to somebody else's agenda. So, transcendental politics is basically being above all political thought, all propaganda. And when you are above all that, then it allows you to have an eagle-eyed view. You can look down and you can see what's really going on, and you can look far off in the distance and see what all the political parties are devising in their supposed separate motivations. And so I just want to really encourage you, we have an election coming up next year, and I think that it's going to be one of the most important transitory points in the history of the world, because after either the next president is going to be in for 4 years, or if it's somebody else, they're going to be in for 8 years. And whatever happens during the next 4 years and 8 years is going to determine the course of the nation for probably the next 20 to 30 years. So an eagle-eye view, which is transcendent, which flies above all of the politics, it also flies above all of the media information coming out. So if you allow yourself to not be in allegiance in a beta submissive role to any political view or agenda, number one, you're free. Now, isn't the point of the U.S. Constitution to be free? Now, anyone living in the United States, you've been brainwashed with the idea of freedom. But being brainwashed with the idea of freedom is not the same thing as having it. Being a natural-born citizen doesn't mean that you've actually grown up to learn freedom of thought and freedom of feelings, freedom of speech, and freedom of action. So, there is one flaw in the Constitution, that if you have natural-born citizenship, it doesn't guarantee that you've embraced the principles of your citizenship. So, and in that regard, I think that American citizens need to become American citizens. And that's a whole nother topic. But basically, a natural-born American citizen needs to have a period in their life where they willingly consent to the Constitution, or else they're not a real citizen in that regard. And if they don't believe in the principles of the Constitution, then there should be some sort of process whereby they don't receive the rights of American citizens, if that makes sense. But anyhow, transcendent politics is a very tranquil state of mind, because since you're not in the beta submissive role as a parrot and robot of the media and of any political party, you actually come up with ideas that are not binary ideas. They're not either or ideas. They're transcendent, and they can actually become third, fourth, fifth, and sixth ideas. So that's enough for today's rant, but it's more than a rant. It's some really solid things to think about, and I'll have more to come. I'm signing off.